Hey, welcome back. So yeah, I was kind of rambling yesterday about Team of Rivals. I'm going to talk more about it today. I really like the book. The point I guess I was trying to make is that what Lincoln did was, and what good leaders do, is they don't just take a position and then yell at the other side and be like, you're wrong, you're immoral, you're bad. That's not what Lincoln did, and I don't think that that's what a good leader does. That's what you see, especially in the Senate. It's just a lot of, like... Am I using it, or... I think I have to do this. Okay. And it's frustrating. And then you hear, like, Lincoln somehow was able to empathize with slaveholders. And, like, you're yelling at people who get abortions like they're slaveholders, like they're worse than, like, people who are Nazis and stuff. And it's like, you can empathize with those people. You can empathize with Nazis. It doesn't mean you're a Nazi. If you're a leader and, like, these are your people in your country, if there are Nazis, then it's your problem. You don't just yell at them. That doesn't solve anything. That's why I don't like the Hasanabi guy. I still watch him sometimes, but that's what he does. That's his political or his life philosophy. He's like, just try to embarrass people as much as possible. And I kind of understand where he's coming from, because that's like the culture that we live in now, is like, if you own somebody, then you get more respect or more Twitter followers. And with more Twitter followers, like, Hasanabi could become a representative if he wanted to, because he has like 5 million Twitter followers. That's like how it works and how stupid it is. But yeah, they didn't have Twitter back in Lincoln's time, so things are different, obviously. I'm gonna die. I don't want to die, but I'm gonna die. I don't want to die, but I'm gonna die. Where am I? I have to remember where I am, so I can get back here when I die. Inevitably. Should I use a potion? Think I should use a potion? Maybe. I'm saving it all for Ganon, but I'm so dead. We'll use the cape. Oh, I'm using the cape. That's not a bad idea. Until I ran out of magic, but kill this thing. Kill it. Okay, go, go. No, 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 no. I need hearts. Oh god. Now, here we go. This is a... I think I'm going to use a potion. So the cool thing about this book is it gives you the perspective of the different political leaders and, like, how their lives, like their entire life, and where they're coming from, and how they argued their cases for slavery, against slavery. So there were 2 people or 3 people who were in Lincoln's. They were like Whigs, and then they became Republicans. Seward and Chase were the 2 big ones that I remember. And they were... Seward, I think, was the bigger abolitionist. But when he made his appeals to Congress or whatever, and there was this thing called the Wilmot Provision or something, which basically said... Proviso, maybe? Wilmot Proviso. Which said, because we were expanding into the West and into the South after the Mexican War or whatever, where we got New Mexico and stuff. And every time this happened, we had to decide, like, okay, are these new states going to be slave states, or are they going to be free states? And we had Henry Clay for a while, the great compromiser, of course. He's not dead. Wait, what? Don't do it. Okay. Ah! I forgot about this stupid maze thing. No, I did it again. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. I hate this. Wait, what? I remember. So Seward was arguing to sign this Wilmot Proviso, which said any new states would be free states. Like, a lot of people, most people were like, okay, the Constitution says that we can't stop slavery in states where it already exists, but we can, obviously. It doesn't say anything about slavery in the new states when we expand. So it's kind of up to us to decide how we figure this out. And of course, it caused like a huge thing, because it's like, well, we got to figure this out. It doesn't say in the Constitution. And it is kind of interesting how, like, the Founding Fathers didn't deal with it. They're just like, slavery, we know it's bad, but, like, we're just not going to deal with it. And then, of course, it came back to bite. You got to deal with stuff. You can't just put it off. Of course, it came back to bite them, and it turned into a civil war because they didn't deal with it. It was the great sin of our nation, and we should have the Founding Fathers should have tried to come up with a solution, and they never did. Come on. So, Seward's was trying to get this Wilmot Proviso signed into law, and he was appealing to like a higher morality. He's saying like, okay, the Constitution doesn't say anything about this, but like there's a higher morality. Like we can't got like a God's law that's like higher than the Constitution, that we can't, nobody should be enslaved, pretty much, which I agree with. But politically, it doesn't work, because you're calling these people in the South like godless, immoral, inhuman people, and so they start arguing, they start digging in deeper into their stance, and nothing works. But Lincoln didn't take that tact when he argued. Gonna save again. He had a pretty good argument that I liked. He was more reasoned, she said. Like, Seward and Chase were more moralistic, and they were like, God is going to judge us, and this is bad and immoral. And I'm like, yeah, but also, that's not a good argument. It's just not good enough. I'm going to use the cape? No, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, let's try to actually do this good for once in your life. How do I get this guy? No. Why is he hiding from me? Okay. Ooh. Okay. This is a gauntlet here. I'm running a gauntlet. Oh, this is kind of a gauntlet, and then I guess you go to the boss. Okay, so let me just get to this point. I have 5 minutes. Lincoln said in 1820, okay, so there was here's your history lesson. This whole thing's like a history lesson, for me too. In 1820, there was a law passed that said it was illegal, I think, to import any more slaves from Africa. Like, any slaves that you had here, you could still own them, obviously, but you couldn't buy any more from Africa, or because they signed into law, like, it's called like an anti-piracy, basically. Like, it would be considered piracy to import slaves from Africa. Ew, get away from me. So, and then everybody kind of accepted that. Like, it was kind of unanimous that No more slaves from Africa, but like you can own your slaves here. And so Lincoln was saying, there must be some part of you, if you agree with the anti-piracy law, that knows that owning a human is bad, because owning a human from Africa, you're saying it's bad. So you must understand on some level that the North is not totally crazy for believing that it's immoral to own humans. Should I try to get over there? Whatever. And he gave a big speech, and like obviously after the speech, like everybody there, even the anti-abolitionists, were like, "He's the best speaker in the world. Abraham Lincoln's so cool," because he's good. Like he's a good leader. He knows how to connect with people and how to get into their hearts. The anti-abolitionists were even kind of like, well, we disagree with him, but like he's got a point, or he's a good speaker. Okay, this was the one that I kind of got killed on, so let's not die here. Okay, that's one bad. This I don't like this right now because I have to pay attention. But this is kind of a good, like, platform. Like, I just take some skill to do this. Like, I gotta concentrate on the two eyes and where they are in relation to me, and they're giving me... Okay, I'm gonna use the cape, I think, on this one. Because this is a... Okay, quick. Okay, go. Good. I think I can beat this one, maybe. No. I'm gonna do the cape. Do the cape. It's so slippery. Yeah. Oh, can I get hearts? Give me hearts. Give me stuff. Oh, good. That's okay. Ooh. Gonna save. Hear a phone ringing. Okay, am I done? Kind of. I had another point about the book. I want to read it today. So I'm done with the book. Too many days on the book. Here's my note. All political hate is performative. If Democratic senators really hated Republican senators, they would let the Union fracture. Polk said, and was right, that slavery debate was so vehement that the country would slowly drift apart unless kept together by force. It took a war to keep us together, not to keep us apart. That's the thing. If we're in the same position now. I mean, we have the Northeast, and we have the South and the Midwest, and then we have like California. If we really hated each other that much, we would let the Union fracture. We would just be like, okay, you do your thing, we do our thing. We'll be two separate countries, and like we'll be like the U.S. and Britain, like we'll be allies, but we'll just we'll have abortion, and you won't have abortion. That would happen. Let's just see what's next. It's a boss. Is it a boss? I'll fight him tomorrow. Okay. This is an important point. So that's what makes me think that, like, all political, like, you hear Democrats yelling at Republicans and Republicans yelling at Democrats on TV. It's all performative. I guess we know that, obviously. Because if they really hated each other as much as they seem, they would be saying, and you never hear anybody say this, they would be saying, like, you never hear any senators or House of Representative people say this, because they know what they're doing is kind of fake. They're not really mad. They would be saying these differences, like, I hate you so much, it's so irreconcilable, let's just get a divorce. We'll be the North and you be the South. It's not like there are some states in the North that are red and some in the South that are blue. It's like pretty divided, like it was in the Civil War, like North and South. and California, or Oregon. So, okay, like, you make your own constitution, and we'll revise our constitution, and we'll be two separate, ununited states. What if it was real? Okay, let me just try to think at this point. If the hate was real, then they would be saying, let's separate, and it would take a war to keep us together. Sometimes I get confused too, like, I think we're going to have a civil war because we hate each other so much and we want to separate. Like, that's not how it works. If we want to separate, we separate. It just happens. You don't have to have a war to separate. You have to have a war to keep us together. That's what the Civil War was, to keep the Union together. It wasn't the South, like, fighting the North to be their separate thing. The North and South separated, and it was the president, Lincoln, and I think it was mostly Lincoln, maybe some of Congress, who was like, well, we want to keep the Union together, so we have to fight them to bring them back in, because they're, like, being traitors. Does that point make sense? It seemed really important for me to realize that, like, Polk, James K. Polk, or whatever his name was, he said that slavery debate was so vehement that the country would slowly drift apart unless kept together by force. I guess, well, obviously, you hear a lot about, like, oh, the country hates, we're so divided. Which is true. I think it's the leader's fault for doing this performative political hate, this theater of, like, oh, we hate the Democrats. They're doing it for votes. They're not doing it because they actually hate Democrats or they hate Republicans. They may disagree on policies, obviously, but they don't think, like, there's no debate right now that's as vehement as slavery was back then. If there was, you'd be hearing the debate about splitting up the Union, and you don't. So, I don't know. I guess relax. Just try to take a deep breath. The Republicans don't hate you as much as you think they do. And I don't hate Republicans as much as Democrats tell me to. Democratic senators are like, you should hate Republicans because they, I can't. They're my Americans. They're my people. Unless they're a Nazi, and then I hate them. Okay. I don't know. See you tomorrow. Bye.